History of my oldest ancestors of whom I am very proud descend. May 23, 1179, Pope Alexandre III recognizes the sovereignty of Dom Afonso Henriques, my 27th grandfather, 11 times my grandfather, with the bull Manifestis Probatum Estate, and declares the Portucalense county independent of the Kingdom of Leo. Manifestis Probatum Estate. Manifestis Probatum Estate, or Manifestus Probatum, is a bull issued by Pope Alexander III, on May 23, 1179, which declares the Portucalense county independent of the Kingdom of Leon, and Dom Afonso Henriques, its sovereign. This bull recognizes the validity of the Treaty of Zamora, signed on October 5, 1143 in Zamora, by the King of Leon, and by Dom Afonso Henriques. Portucale Rex Primus. Dom Afonso Henriques, first King of Portugal, was probably born in Guimarães, Coimbra or Viseu on the 25th of July, 1109, and died in Coimbra on the 6th of December, 1185. He was the son of Enrique de Burgundy, Count of Portucale, and Dona Teresa de Leo, Countess Sovereign of Portucale. Paternal grandson of Roberto I, the elder, Duke of Burgundy, and Dona Sibila, or Beatriz, of Barcelona, maternal grandson of Afonso VI, King of Castile and Jimena Moniz. Dom Afonso Henriques, known as the Conqueror, was the first king of Portugal, reigning from 1139 until his death. Previously he was Count of Portucale, from 1112 until its independence from the Kingdom of Leo. He was the son of Dom Enrique, Count of Portucale, and his wife Dona Teresa de Leo, who, upon the death of Count Dom Enrique, quickly ascended to the government of the county, which confirms the hereditary nature that it had. After his father's death in 1112, Dom Afonso took a political stance opposite to that of his mother, who had allied with the Galician nobleman D. Fernão Pérez de Trava, my 28th, 29th, and 31st grandfather. Intending to ensure domination of the county, he armed himself as a knight, and after defeating his mother in the Battle of São Mamed, in 1128, he took over the government. He then focused his efforts on obtaining recognition as a kingdom. In 1139, after the victory in the Battle of Henriques against a Moorish contingent, Dom Afonso Henriques proclaimed himself King of Portugal with the support of his troops. Contrary to what they say about the Treaty of Zamora, it only made the Portucalense county independent of the Kingdom of Leon. The Treaty of Zamora. On October 5, 1143, the Treaty of Zamora was signed, resulting from the peace conference between Dom Afonso Henriques and his cousin, Afonso VII, King of Leon and Castile, in the presence of Cardinal Guido de Vico. Considered the date of the beginning of the reign of Dom Afonso Henriques and the beginning of Portugal. Afonso VII agreed that the Portucalense county would become a kingdom, with Dom Afonso Henriques as its Rex, king. The conquest of Lisbon and the reorganization of the kingdom. With the support of the Crusaders from northern Europe, he conquered Lisbon in 1147. With internal pacification, he continued his conquests against the Moors, pushing the borders south, from Leiria to Alentejo, more than doubling the territory he had inherited. The Muslims called him Ibn Henrique, son of Enrique, a literal translation of the patronymic Henriques, or Portucale, the Portuguese. Portuguese independence was recognized on May 23, 1179, by Pope Alexander III, through the bull Manifestis Probatum Estate, and gained the title of Rex, king. 3 months after Afonso dictated his first will, on May 23, 1179, Pope Alexander III, through the bull Manifestis Probatum Estate, recognized Dom Afonso Henriques the title of king, declared that he was taking it from him and to his heirs under the protection of the Holy See. He considered Portugal as a kingdom belonging to St. Peter and promised papal assistance whenever it was necessary to defend the royal dignity of the Portuguese sovereign. Thus ended the long period of 36 years that passed between the homage paid by Afonso to the Pope as Miles Sancti Petri and the full recognition of his dignity and independence. Probably because in his will the king was willing to double the amount of the census. In 1185, the Almohads besieged Santarém, but were defeated by the Portuguese commanded by Prince Dom Sancho, who even killed the Caliph. The king was old, he was already 76 years old and had far exceeded the age at which warriors died at that time. The county he had inherited had become, thanks to his military valor, his political sagacity and the intelligent collaboration of some, a true kingdom. Not very vast, nor very rich, but with a sufficient number of inhabitants and a diversity of resources to subsist. Death of Dom Afonso Henriques. Dom Afonso Henriques died on December 6, 1185, aged 76. He was buried in the monastery he helped found, in Coimbra, next to his wife and probably his children who had already died. They placed his body in a tomb that his successor Dom Manuel first considered too modest, and which was why he had it renovated in 1515. The first tomb bore a Latin inscription that clearly testified to the veneration that surrounded the old king. Here lies another Alexander, or another Julius Caesar. Invincible warrior, shining honor of the orb. Mastered in the art of governing, he reached safe times, alternating the succession of peace and arms. How much does the religion of Christ owe to this man? The kingdoms conquered for the cult of faith prove this. Nourished by the sweetness of the same faith, he cumulated, in addition to the honors of the kingdom, riches for the poor unfortunates. Who was a defender of the cross and protected by the cross. This is marked by the cross, formed of shields, on his own shield. O immortal fame, even though you reserve long times for yourself, no one can proclaim words worthy of their merits. Family and descendancy of Dom Afonso Henriques. Children from marriage to Dona Mafalda de Saboya, my 27th grandmother, 6 times my grandmother. Dom Henrique, Infante of Portugal, born on the 3rd of May, 1147. Dona Urraca, Infanta of Portugal, born in 1151, married Fernando II, King of Leon, my 26th grandparents, 5 times my grandparents. Dona Mafalda, Infanta of Portugal. Dom Sancho I, King of Portugal, my 26th grandfather, 5 times my grandfather, born on the 11th of November, 1154, married Dona Dulce de Barcelona, Infanta of Aragon, and later married Dona Maria Pais Ribera, my 26th grandmother, 4 times my grandmother. Dom João, Infante of Portugal, born in 1160. Dona Teresa, Matilda, Infanta of Portugal, born in 1157, married Philippe, Count of Flanders, and later married Eudes III, Duke of Burgundy. Dona Sancha, Infanta of Portugal, born in 1160. Children with Dona Chamoa Gomes de Pombero, my 27th grandmother, 11 times my grandmother. Dom Fernando Afonso of Portugal, my 26th grandfather, 9 times my grandfather, Infante of Portugal, Count of Toledo, 12th Grand Master of the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, Hospitals a Malta, Ensign Major of the Kingdom, had children with Dona Urraca Goncalves de Marnal, my 26th grandmother, 9 times my grandmother. Dom Pedro Afonso, Master of the Order of Avis, born in 1130. Dom Afonso of Portugal, born in 1135. Children with Dona Elvira Gulta, my 27th grandmother, 5 times my grandmother, born in 1110. Dona Teresa Afonso, my 26th grandmother, 5 times my grandmother, born in 1135, married Dom Sancho Nunes de Barbosa, Count of Barbosa, my 26th grandfather, 6 times my grandfather. Dona Urraca Afonso, Lady of Aveiro, born in 1130, married Pedro Afonso Vigas.